Texas Tech wins an absolute thriller over Kansas State by a score of 60-59. And one thing is abundantly clear for Red Raider Nation. Texas Tech men's basketball is so back. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball all year long. And it looks like this season, in year one of Grant McCasland, is going to be hell of a lot of fun. So you're going to want to stay in the know right here on the most engaging and fastest growing Texas Tech community here on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel. My goodness, let's just jump into this recap as Texas Tech, as I just said, won a thriller over Jerome Tang and the Kansas State Wildcats out in the 806 on Saturday night. I would say going into Saturday night, started in the afternoon, but ended at night. Anyway, I digress. There was 7.7 seconds left on the clock, and if you look at some of the pictures on Twitter, there was 7.7 seconds left on the clock even after the game ended. For those that don't know, Texas Tech went up on a Joe Toussaint free throw, an and one opportunity, 60-59 with 7.7 seconds remaining. The 7.7 seconds never started. Texas Tech got a highly contested shot off of Tyler Perry, one of Grant McCasland's former players at UNT, now at Kansas State. Chance McMillan got the rebound, and Texas Tech left the USA with a victory to move to 3-0 in the Big 12. We'll talk about where that has them in the Big 12 standings, as well as Ken Pom and the net rankings here in just a second. But Joe Toussaint led the way with only 12 points in this one for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. That was the leading scorer in this game. The Red Raiders endured a 20-0 run. Let me repeat that. 20-0 run by the Wildcats to end the first half. Texas Tech did not score a bucket, a singular point, I might add, in the final 7 minutes and 10 seconds of the first half. Wild that they were even still in the game at that point. Not to mention Texas Tech, and this kind of speaks to what this team is about. The never quit attitude that Grant McCasland has talked about, just the never giving up, always going to find a way to compete in any game that they're in mentality. They go on an 11-2 scoring run to secure this victory, multiple and one opportunities. The first one, after Warren Washington made his first free throw, Texas Tech got into the double bonus. Darion Williams gets the rebounds. He got hooked by a Kansas State defender, put it up and in, made his and one opportunity. Joe Toussaint goes down, pivots in the lane, goes up, gets hit, and one. And that's the play that I mentioned earlier where Texas Tech went up 60-59, and they did not look back after that. I guess there was only 7.7 seconds remaining to look back at, but they won this game. And again, this just goes back to that never quit mentality. And I was so interested to see how this team would look in year number one, because I always said, even as soon as Grant McCasland was hired, that was the right hire. It may just take a year, and people need to be patient. Be damned with that. Be damned with it, okay? Grant McCasland has this team playing like a real NCAA tournament team, and a team that right now, if you look at it, could make some serious noise. Now, there's a lot of basketball left, right? We're basically halfway through the year and have only played 3 Big 12 games. That being said, I just said Texas Tech's going to compete every night. They're 100% going to do that. Are they going to win every Big 12 game? No, because it's the Big 12. Perfect example is UCF beating number 3 Kansas. That's not supposed to happen, but welcome to the Big 12. That's what happens any given night in this conference. But one thing is abundantly clear. Grant McCasland is the right hire, and this team is 100% bought in to him and the coaching staff's vision for this program moving forward. And that starts at the top with players like Pop Isaacs, senior leadership in Joe Toussaint, Warren Washington. Texas Tech men's basketball is back, people. And it feels so good to say, because I didn't know when I was going to be able to say it with Grant McCasland at the helm, because I knew it would happen. I just didn't know when I was going to be able to say that comfortably. I can say it right now. Texas Tech men's basketball is so freaking back, and it feels great to say. All right, let's look at the latest Big 12 standings and metrics for the Red Raiders as they head down to face a team that struggled last week. We'll talk about up next here in just a second. But Texas Tech is currently tied atop the Big 12 standings with the Baylor Bears at 3-0. The two lone undefeated teams in the Big 12 as it currently stands of January 14th. And oh, by the way, I know the AP poll doesn't matter. Texas Tech will be ranked going into the week of January 15th. And if they're not, we probably need to take a lot of these voters' rights away in terms of putting together this AP poll, because it would just be a travesty if they're not. But if you ask me, I think Texas Tech probably lands in that 21 to 22 range. Anyway, this game actually hurt Texas Tech winning it. I know that sounds weird. It was a quad 3 win. Really weird. Kansas State's a good basketball team. They're on the bubble, but it was a home game, and it just impacted it in a weird way. And again, I think a lot of people want to know, what the hell is a quad 1 win? Well, we'll explain that in a later video. But Texas Tech comes in on KenPom as the 30th best team in the country. And right now, as I mentioned, because of that quad 3 win against Kansas State, they moved down in the net rankings to 37. They have a huge opportunity ahead of them, though, with these next 3 games. All of them will be against ranked opponents, at least right now. That's how it stands. You got Houston, BYU, and then Oklahoma on the schedule. 2 of those games on the road in Houston and Oklahoma. Then you face the Cougars and BYU at home next weekend. Now, next up for Texas Tech is number 2 Houston. Will number 2 Houston be number 2 this coming up week? No, they won't, because they lost 2 games this past week. They'll probably move to that 16 to 17 range in the top 25. If you ask me. But this is a big one for Texas Tech. You're going to be playing a team, and we'll preview it here on the channel later on in the week, where you're playing a team that's hungry right now in the Cougars, where they need a Big 12 victory to get back to 500. And Texas Tech is thinking about this as an opportunity to get another quad 1 win, really solidify their resume, and still remain as an undefeated team in conference play. If I would have told you on January 15th, I don't care how many games Texas Tech had on their Big 12 schedule, that the Red Raiders would be in there in terms of, hey, like, they're 3-0. They're undefeated in the Big 12. Only 3 games in, you would have laughed at me. I know you would have laughed at me, because we didn't know what to expect this year from this team. And now they're 3-0. They look like a legit NCAA tournament team. Now, again, a lot of basketball left, as I previously mentioned, but they're going to compete night in and night out because of the head man and the leadership that they have, not only on the coaching staff, but on the roster as well. And moving forward, Texas Tech is going to have a ton of opportunities to solidify that tournament resume. But I can tell you this right now, they're not on the bubble anymore. As it stands right now, ton of basketball left, but Texas Tech has a huge opportunity on Wednesday night down in H-Town to get another quad 1 win and really accelerate their chances at potentially landing atop or very close to it in the Big 12 conference. Something we didn't know what was going to happen in year number 1, but damn it, here we are, Texas Tech fans, and it is a lot of fun watching this Grant McCaslin and Texas Tech men's basketball team. All right, one more time, be sure to like the video if you haven't already, if you're excited about Texas Tech men's basketball. And you know what? Like the video if you think Texas Tech will make the NCAA tournament. For those that stayed late here in the video, we appreciate you. Let me know by simply liking the video if you think Texas Tech will make the NCAA tournament. I am RC Maxfield, reminding you, if you want to be a part of the most engaging and fastest growing Texas Tech community here on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball all year long, right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.